What's up YouTube? We are back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be watching a video titled "Could you spend $1 trillion within 24 hours?" And let me just say this is absurd, but I think this video is a guide
on how you could spend it
within 24 hours because some countries' GDPs don't even reach $1 trillion. So I would like to see how this unfolds. But personal opinion, I think that's just crazy. Anyways, let's get into this video.
You just got $1 trillion. Not a million, not a billion, a trillion. But there's a catch. You need to spend all of it in the next 24 hours, or you lose everything. This should be easy. First, you need a new car. Go to your local exotic dealership and buy yourself a Lambo. And a Ferrari. And a McLaren. You know what? Just buy up the entire dealership. Now, you have the $12 million garage of your dreams. But there's one small problem. In order to spend $1 trillion in 24 hours, you would need to buy out that entire dealership every single second. You need to think bigger. Let's hire 100 people to track.
Okay. Hear me out. The rules state that you have to spend the $1 trillion within 24 hours. Right. Hear me out. If you're gonna give it off just as a but you have to keep the things that you buy. If you fail to spend the $1 trillion within 24 hours, you're not gonna keep the things that you buy. They're gonna take them away. So I think, yeah, let's see the strategy.
Down the 100 most expensive yachts and buy them for us. And let's throw in $1 million bonus for each mercenary. That'll be around a $40 billion check, but let's also buy the biggest cruise ship of all time for $2 billion and fill it up to maximum capacity, paying for everyone's tickets and tossing in a Rolex too. Let's make use of this ship's basketball court by buying up every single NBA team and having them battle it out. Then let's get Snoop Dogg, Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, and Beyonce to perform for us before sending them off to the International Space Station on a SiXX rocket that costs $55 million per passenger. Now that you're hanging with rich people, you need a status symbol.
Did I just witness Diddy's white parties? Anyways, let me not talk about that. Anyways, let's get back to topic. Spending that much. For example, he bought the NBA teams, bought Justin Bieber's and all other people to. It's not like we're investing in what we're going to have at the end. The entire goal is to just leave it. Just experience how it would be if you had an entire day of unlimited money. But I would like to see how this unfolds.
You could buy the world's most expensive art piece for $500 million, but why would you do that when you could just buy the entire Metropolitan Museum of Art for $100 billion and then we could go over to... Transaction failed. There's no way we're already out of money. Yeah, we still have $800 billion. The Metropolitan Museum is an educational institution whose assets are held for the public benefit and are not owned by... You know what? Forget about the Met.
Okay, I think that's one other thing. It just gets to show you that even if you have all the money in the world, you couldn't buy certain things. Yeah, but just depends with how you play the game. The long run, it has a price on it.
The entirety of New York City is worth around $1.3 trillion. There are currently 33,210 vacant units available, so let's hire 33,000 people to snatch those up for us. And of course, throw in a $100K commission. But here's something you need to think about. The most expensive real estate purchase in US history was this $240 million concrete brick. That might sound like a lot of money, but you spending $240 million is like an average person spending $60.
That just gets to show you that there are people in this world, especially the royal princes in Dubai. Those people have mad money. Spending 100, 200 is nothing to them. That's why they got Trump. They gave Trump like a flying palace. Let's just say that. Those people have stupid money, literally speaking. And thinking about it, it's nothing. Like $1 million to them is like spending $100.
I think instead of buying houses, you should build a mega project. The sky is truly your limit. You can build your project wherever you want. If there's people in the way, buy them out with your pocket change. Or maybe try the Saudi Arabia method and relocate them. into a graveyard. Actually, I think the Middle East is exactly where we need to go. So let's buy one Gulfstream G650 for each day of the year and fly across the world.
Wait. How long does it take for you to move from the USA to the United Emirates, Arab Emirates? Would that take an entire day? Maybe it depends with what you're flying with. Okay, I'm a trillionaire. I can use whatever I want. I can use one of the fastest jets just to get to the what's this? Actually, I would bring back Concorde. Yeah, I'll bring back Concorde just to fly straight to the Emirates and see what Brody's gonna do this side. But I think it would take maybe like 24 hours. We are eating daylight.
The Arabian Peninsula, where people will build literally anything. The world's biggest picture frame, the world's largest clock, the massivest cube, the tallest structure ever, man-made sinking islands shaped after the world map from memory. These are cool. Let's build an even bigger artificial island for 20 billion.
Have you seen what stupid rich people do? They just imagine and they act. You must be stupid rich for you to start creating islands in the shape of the world, in all the continents. Like, bruh.
Of course, we can't forget about labor cost, so for that, let's budget in $10.
I think that's nothing.
Then let's buy every single one of those mega projects I just showed you for a total donation of $101,292,010 to our Middle Eastern boys.
We're almost halfway.
But while you're here, take a look at the Burj Khalifa, the current tallest building in the world. If you were to stack $1 bills to the very top, the tower would be worth $7.58 million. You still need to spend 87,000 times that, a stack so high it would go past the International Space Station. If you ever want to spend this money, you need to stop thinking in real estate and start thinking in 51st state. Do you see where I'm going with this? Buy a country. In 2010,
I think Trump, you would be best buddies with Trump.
Country of Liechtenstein put itself on Airbnb at 70 grand a night. This is literally nothing. You can't be looking at countries hoeing themselves out for pennies. You need the ultimate prize. Somewhere cooler. Somewhere strategic.
Antarctica.
Let's buy
Greenland.
Based on the market price of its mineral reserves, the world's biggest island has a price tag of around 200 billion. We can afford that. But there's one small thing in our way. During Trump's first term, when he proposed the conquest of Greenland, the country dismissed the idea as completely ridiculous and
okay, hear me out. America's been doing this for a while now. America's been buying land, like they bought the entire country, they bought it. So Greenland isn't that far-fetched, and we're not that far like to say no, it's old-fashioned and all that. And as long as you have the price, somebody can buy. As long as there's a price, somebody will buy. As long as there's somebody willing to sell, a buyer will show up.
Firmly stated that Greenland is not for sale.
Tax. They can choose that.
Let's buy an F-35 for $80 million. Fuck it. 2 F-35s. 3, 10, 100. 2 aircraft carriers, 3 destroyer ships, 1 ballistic missile submarine, 57,000 black.
I've seen what he's doing. He's spending like the military. If you're spending like the military, $1 trillion within 24 hours is nothing. I'm telling you the truth. Like the USA military be spending crazy amounts of money on war and exploding things.
Water soldiers, 1 for every citizen of Greenland. Now we have a $50 billion makeshift military, and it looks like Greenland's for sale after all.
Okay,
but by this point in your trillionaire spending spree, people are starting to take notice. Your exploits might not have hit TikTok yet, but rumblings are beginning behind closed governmental doors. Luckily for you, there's not much politicians can say once you own them. Buy a politician. You got Trump here for $1.5 billion. Kamala is almost $2 billion, but you do get a free Joe Biden. Let's buy up both of those and every sitting member of the Senate and House for a grand total of $7.2 billion for the entirety of American politics.
Pretty crazy. If you wait, some Elon Musk type shit. Let me keep quiet.
This is a great deal, but there's a catch. Money influences politics, but it doesn't always decide it. I mean, look at the presidential race. Democrats outspent Republicans and still lost because $2 billion can't buy aura.
Suppose if you buy two sides, then you are not losing. It's more like you're gambling on both sides. Okay, let's say I put 100K on one team and 100K on the other team. And if the other team makes me 1 billion and the other team makes me 1 billion, I don't lose anything as long as I'm profiting. Simple accountings. I think I would be an accountant.
Recently, Elon dropped millions of dollars campaigning for an election in Wisconsin, only to find out that shit no longer works when everyone hates you. Even BlackRock doesn't always get what they want. $1 trillion gives you access to almost everything. But culture and public perception are things that are not for sale. Just kidding. Let's buy every single media company. The Washington Post, Time Magazine, the New York Times, Comcast, Fox. Global ad spend for an entire year is around 1 trillion. That averages to $3 billion a day. So let's run 1 week straight of propaganda and we should be good. But if you're...
That's how much people are spending on ads. I think that's why YouTube is eating at ads. Because they're making a lot of money. $1 trillion a year. Was that $1 trillion a year or $1 trillion a month? And you were spending like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, close to 100 billion a week.
You're still getting heat, there's one final method you can use. A donation a day keeps the guillotine away. It's time for philanthropy. There are a lot of causes to choose from, but you should start off with the people most in need. The US government. America is currently $36 trillion broker than a homeless person. That number is increasing by $2 trillion a year. Luckily, we now have you. 220 billion honestly isn't gonna do much, but it's definitely gonna help. Assuming, of course, that the US government efficiently manages a $250 billion cash injection. You might be wondering how you're gonna send the money. And the answer is pay.gov, an official website where you can make donations to the US government.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing. I never expected it.
To reduce the public debt. So let's just enter in your 220 billion.
I'm paying taxes. You're getting money off my taxes and more of my taxes. So why would I donate money to the government? And I'll be probably taxed off that just to make the transaction. Every bank transaction is taxed. Yeah.
Right here and... Well, turns out the maximum amount the Treasury accepts is only $1 million. You just bought the government a bag of screws from Lockheed Martin. Maybe your money will put a bigger dent into medical debt. See, unlike the government, broke people dying of cancer aren't allowed to print more money to pay off their crippling obligations. Instead, their unpaid debts get sold off to collections for pennies on the dollar. But because of this discount, charities like Undo Medical Debt can erase $100 worth of debt for every $1 donation they receive. And with that ratio, you can wipe out all the medical debt in the US for just $2.2 billion. But what about world hunger? The UN estimated it would take 40 billion each year to end world hunger by 2030. We could afford that. Next, how about we help out malnourished and starving college students? Student loan debt in the US totals 1.777 trillion, with the government loaning out 87.2 billion a year. But before we try to attack this, there's a slight problem. Once universities catch wind that trillionaire Jesus is bailing out their victims, they'll probably just jack up their prices. On top of that, paying off loans might be seen as unfair to older generations who had to pay their way through college and pick themselves up by their bootstraps.
Facts.
Turns out philanthropy isn't as easy as it seems.
So wait, what you trying to say, like, okay, it has its positive sides and its negative side is that the people you're actually helping will benefit, but the people who are actually benefiting from the money will see that as an opportunity to milk you more, like the university increasing the tuition fees. And that's pretty crazy. For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
It's not easy. Building Amazon was not easy. Philanthropy is very similar. It's really hard.
I agree with Jeff here. Let's just buy another $500 million yacht. That's enough philanthropy for today.
Okay, well,
You still have 60 billion left. I think I know how to spend it. It might be semi-cheating. Hear me out. 31% of Americans can't afford an unexpected purchase over $400. Being a trillionaire, your passive income gives you $400 every 0.126 seconds. The median net worth under 35 is $39,000. As a trillionaire, you could exchange your toilet paper with rolls of $39,000 bills for your entire lifetime and it wouldn't put a dent in your finances. $1 trillion gives you horizons incomprehensible to the normal paycheck-to-paycheck living human. Even after your spending spree, you still have so much money left that it gives you too many options. You could launch space programs, clean up the ocean.
I think with the remaining 60 billion, you've probably done everything. Philanthropy, buying governments, buying countries, buying everything that you need. I think at this point, but still, you want to keep the things, because if you don't spend the $1 trillion within 24 hours, you won't end up keeping the things. So what would I do? I think just launch a bunch of rockets to the moon and Mars. I don't know, that's like 50 million each. Maybe just waste the billions, because we've done everything. Literally speaking, it's just burning the money away.
Fund institutions. 24 hours just isn't enough time for this much fun. So let's buy more time.
You can't buy more time.
Make yourself a trust and safely store your money in it. Now, all of those humanity-shifting endeavors, you
$6 billion per year passively forever. Pretty crazy. I did not expect that. Would a person literally spend $1 trillion? Practically, no. You wouldn't spend $1 trillion within 24 hours. Yeah. And that's just crazy. Anyways, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share.